Now, here are some things that I wish I was told before I started my business 20 years ago. And these are habits that could either break your business or grow your business. Anyway, hi guys, my name is Miss Mojo and I help people like yourself, professionals, to monetize their knowledge, skills, and experience. And today I'm going to be talking about the 3 mindset habits that I wish someone had told me when I was starting my business. When I first started, I was overwhelmed. I thought that I had the knowledge, so it would be easy to grow the business. Nothing prepared me for what was ahead. So if you feel overwhelmed, you've got imposter syndrome, and you don't quite know where to start, well, this is the right place for you. Now, the very first one was planning, of course. We all know that saying. Failing to plan is planning to fail. And I tried to plan, but at that time I was hell-bent on producing this 50-page business plan, yes. And I spent tons of hours trying to complete them. And what I've realized from my experience in business that you don't need a 50-page business plan. In fact, based on my fatigue, overwhelm, failure to complete that 50-page business plan is how I then went on to create my 1-page business map, which is easy because really when you start a business, all you really need to know is what the business is about, your strengths, weaknesses, who you want to serve, long-term goals, and get started. Most of the other things you will learn on the job. So right now, I plan incredibly well. So I have a yearly plan, monthly plan, quarterly plan, and right now I'm going through my 12-week in a year plan. Yes, I actually wrote a book on time management, so when it comes to planning, I try, not all the time, I'm still a work in progress, but planning is very important. And if you remember the saying by Abraham Maslow, he said if he's given 6 hours to cut down a tree, he will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the saw. So planning is important. So what's the point? It's like getting into your car and just driving around aimlessly. You need to have an idea of your North Star. Where are you headed? If you look behind me, I've got a whiteboard. I use vision boards as well. I've got flip charts on the floor around me. I like to plan. Not every little step have an outline of what I want to achieve. So if I do get off track, I can bring myself back. And remember, planning is more like a strategy. So a strategy might be, I want to be on 3 social media platforms. That's my strategy. Now, tactics are, maybe I'll do videos, I'll write. But remember, we have the strategy, and this is why planning is important. So you know what you want to achieve, and then you can find different ways of achieving that. So try and plan and stop trying to do everything now. Plan it out. Before you start your week, get a sheet of paper and plan ahead. So at the end of the week, you can celebrate your wins. Now, the second mindset or habit I wish I had known was clarity. God Almighty. When I first started, my first business was as an accounting practice. And I was so overwhelmed. I didn't know who I was serving, what I was really offering. And I remember at the time then, websites were new because this was in the early 2000s. And guess what? I was looking at the websites of my so-called competitors. So I was looking at websites like PwC, that's Price Waterhouse, EY, and all the big accounting firms. If you're enjoying what I'm saying so far, please give this video a thumbs up and please consider subscribing. Right now, I'm looking back thinking, even if I had built those websites, I don't have the resources. I don't have a structure in place. If the clients came to me, I can't service them. So it didn't make sense. I needed to start small. So having clarity helps you do that. So clarity is not just about knowing what you want to do. It's not just about you. It's also knowing what are you offering, why are you offering it, and to whom are you offering your services. Now, back in the day when we did business in person, now a lot of it is online, I used to teach something called an elevator pitch. And this is being able to describe what you offer in 30 seconds or less. And when we talk about offering, remember, it's about the benefits, not the features of your products. People are not really interested in the features. They want to know what will they get out of it. So perfume, for instance, we all know why people buy perfume. Is it to attract the opposite sex? But perfume has ingredients, but nobody really talks about that. It's about what it does. And this is why you sell the sizzle of the bacon not the bacon. Anyway, enough about that. So elevator pitch is being able to tell anybody you meet that this is what I do and this is who I offer the services to. So being clear is very important, because otherwise you could be busy. When you're at work, when you do your 9 to 5, you can be busy, you're going to get paid. But when you're running your own business, especially when you first start, you become a hunter, i.e. you eat what you kill. So you need to get out there and start making money. Otherwise, nothing happens. And being clear about what you're offering will help you a lot. And I wish somebody had sat me down at the beginning of my business and told me all of this. Now, the third habit leads nicely into this, and you've done your planning, you're clear about what you're going to do, who you're offering it to. The next one is consistency. You need to show up. So it's okay to plan, it's okay to be clear, but are you actually taking action? Implementation. This is one area where a lot of entrepreneurs fall over, and myself included, because you can have a great plan, but if you don't work it, nothing happens, and you can sit on that plan for years and years. And this is why when you're planning, just one page is enough so you can start going and be consistent. So motivation doesn't cut it. When I started my business, I was looking for motivation everywhere, up, down. Where's motivation? Where is she? Where is he? I can't find it. And every day I wake up and think, oh, I don't feel motivated. I'll wait for Mr. Motivation. I remember Mr. Motivator. I'll wait for Mr. Motivation. He never turned up. And this is why habits, consistency is very important. No matter what happens, you need to make sure you're up doing your thing. Because imagine, I know everybody's into health and fitness. Let's talk about going to the gym. You see people who have a six-pack and you think, oh, I'll go to the gym, and then after a week you're checking your stomach to see your six-pack. It's not going to happen. You have to be consistent. You have to go for at least 3 times a week for 6 months to see any change. Things take time, but consistency will help you get there. So you don't worry about results. I understand in the beginning you're expecting results, but be consistent and your actions will turn into results. I have a program behind me which I'm developing, which is called Clarity, Focus, Action, and Results. In that order, you need to take action. If you don't take action, you won't get the results. And part of taking action is being consistent. No matter what happens, you need to show up for your business. You are the business, so you need to show up for it. When you're building a business, people are watching you. I have had people ask me, oh, why haven't you released a video? And of course, life happens, but whatever happens, you need to make sure you get back on track. So if you're building a business, make sure you start with these 3 habits: planning, clarity, and be consistent. Because I wish somebody had told me this at the start of my business. Don't forget, I've got a link to my free digital toolkit below. Be sure to pick it up and start creating your own digital product today.